Hello and welcome to a tribute build, and it's the Corgi Bob thumbs like tits build. And yeah, it's something Corgi Bob used to say and it tickled me. He was a proper character really. And yeah, his terms was he'd be struggling on something and he'd say in his lovely West Country accent, "We've got thumbs like tits." And yeah, he was quite a character. I've done a bit of an emoji for it. Hope he likes it and he's reeling and rocking up there. Anyway, what I've decided to do, he didn't say it on his Mercedes 600 build, but it was fiddly stuff like this that did make him say his phrase I got to know him with. It really tickled me, that. I think it was one of the first things I put on his video. I said, "Oh man, I've just wet myself." Yeah, he was quite a comic. He was quite a dry and witty comedian. Anyway, we've started off with this beaten up and battered Corgi Mercedes 600. I stripped it many years ago. It's probably been lying round 10 years or more since I first stripped it. I don't have the plastic gear cover, which I'm not over bothered about. It's not a must-have. And anyway, taking out the wheels there. And here, I've already bought a replacement glass as the window unit that was on it was broken. It had parts broken off it. And here we go into the caustic bath of doom. And yeah, Bobby loved doing. He was very informative of how to do the builds and stuff. He had some damn good videos if you go and watch him, Corgi Bob. If you've never seen him, I do recommend go and watch a couple of his videos, especially if you like corgis. Anyway, at this point, once the water had cooled down a bit and the caustic, I stripped the chrome plating off the chassis unit. And here I'm sanding off the rough parts because it had the bits of oxidisation because it had shed paint. And then I went over it with a wire brush. Bought small wire brushes. Mainly because I was fed up of getting stabbed by the wires from the wire wheels that flew everywhere. I got a bag full of small wire brushes off Temu, and now I'm going in with finer wet and dry paper to smooth the body out. And at this point we're drilling the posts. I'm drilling with a 1.7mm drill bit to open up to a 2mm tap, which we'll see going in a bit. And as par for the course, as you'll see later, I drill through the bodywork. And here we are using the tap to tap the thread. Using an M2 tap. I personally use crosshead screws or Phillips, whatever you want to call them, but some use Allen key bolts, some use rivets. It's all a matter of personal taste really. But in this project, I've wanted to do it for ages, but I want to get into matching the metallic colours and the candy colours of the day, and matching them and getting them pretty accurate, which you'll see later. I've pretty much nailed this one without blowing my own trumpet too much. I'll give what I use to do it as we go through. But yeah, it's a nice colour match is what I'm saying. But there, as you can see, I drilled through the boot lid while we were doing the post, so I've used some bog, put it in, and I'll sand it down again with a rough paper first, then I went back onto the smooth again, the wet and dry paper, to smooth it down. But I'm using rough first to knock the filler back. And there we go. The filler's not back, so I think we've moved on to wet and dry. Yeah, we've moved on to wet and dry there. And smoothing the boot lid off nicer. And here, I'm priming it. Priming all the base, the body shell, and the grill and everything. I'm using Citadel black primer. It's rattle can black. But any black primer would have done, really. Doesn't have to be a particular one, but Citadel's quite expensive, really, so if you found a cheaper black primer. And here I'm using a Molotov pen refill and putting it on through the airbrush. Which is doing quite a nice job. And give it quite a nice finish. And carrying on there. Yeah, there was a little crack in the frame at the end of one of the front wheel arches. And I did think about gluing it in place, but I thought, what's the point? It'll probably make it look worse. And at the end of the day, the body and the base plate holds all the chrome areas in place. So I'd have probably made it worse for the sake of absolutely no advantage. And here I'm doing the base grey. I'm using Attacker R8 Modern RAF paint set. I forget which one it was. But hey, it's just a light grey, really. I've never looked at if Corgi colour matched the bases, but I'm guessing some sort of battleship grey or whatever. A very light sea grey, I don't know. It's a light grey is what I'm saying. It works quite effectively though. And here, the first coats I put on over the black primer, I put on Quicksilver from flipping heck, I'll think of the name in a bit. They're all from the same place anyway. I put Quicksilver and then I put blood red candy over the top, and it was just a case of giving it enough coats to bring the shade I wanted down to a really deep blood red. So the colours used are Createx Quicksilver for the silver undercoat and Creative Candy 2.0 blood red. And it does give an accurate colour. For anyone that wants to do one of these, you will get the colour that way. Another way you could get it is with the blood red candy, the Createx blood red candy, over a polished, or not particularly polished, but a good body and wire wool, so you had no blemishes on the body, then spray. But I prefer having a primer underneath so the paint's more durable. So the Quicksilver gives the effect of like an aluminium underneath, and then spray your candy on top. And here I'm spraying lacquer over the base. I'm lacquering it to give it a bit of a shine. I'm using normal car 2K in a rattle can. And I'm not sure, I think I will lacquering the body here. I'm not 100% sure because it's a different colour, unless it's just the way the light's reflecting. It may just be how the light's reflecting, because that's a lot darker in real life. But I think that is the lacquer coat. And here I'm dipping the screen unit in a floor polish. I can't say which one now. I think it's a Johnson's product, but the bottle's long gone and I've forgotten which particular one it is. But it does the job. I've probably got enough there for see me life out. And here I'm using silver water salt and a felt pad on my Dremel to polish the alloy wheels, which it does rather good. Also sprays plenty of crappy aluminium on your hands, as one can see. Spiffing. But yeah, Bob, I used to laugh at him when he were doing fiddly stuff. Or when somebody asked a question and he was like, he was proper grumpy and he used to say, well, Google it, you know, what else can I say? He'd say, you've watched the video, surely you saw me do it. He was an unhelpful soul. Bless him. But he used to say, well, Google it, that's what I asked to do. Yeah, he were a proper star. He's one of them characters you'll miss. If you knew him, you'll miss him. I used to love watching his videos. Because I'm a Corgi, not only because I'm a Corgi fan, but I liked him as a character. But like me, like I'm getting now, bless him, he didn't say so much for himself, but he were. He had his ill health, but bless him, he were more concerned about his missus. So yeah, sad days, but None of us can dodge it. But I hope he's up there looking down now and approving of me build. He probably will when he sees it on the magic roundabout, as our Martin would have said. I hope they're up there partying heavy and discussing die-cast while doing it. God, I bet that'd have been an hilarious meeting. Corgi Bob and Martin together. That'd have been a proper chuckle. But yeah, it had. Because it was that long since I stripped it, and I watched Corgi Bob's video the other day for reference. But because it was so long ago that I stripped it, I forgot how it went back together. I did watch Corgi Bob's video for reference, but I forgot how it went together from his video. So I didn't re-watch it, I just used trial and error really. And here we are, I'm putting the screw in the base, putting it back together. And when you look at these cars, it was amazing, the engineering that went into them. They were little masterpieces really. Like, they don't do anything like that today, and there's much more stuff available to them for designing, etc. There we are, not working. And I flick the switch if I get it on this. I flick the switch and we have working. There we are. Spin it round to the on position. And here we go. Working wipers. Happy days. You know, it's just amazing. Who come up with that idea? Anyway, here's the car as we started with it. A beat up and battered example that I stripped well over 10 years ago. Probably coming up to 15 years ago since I stripped it. And he was waiting around for the ideal opportunity. And I thought it'd be beautiful for a Corgi Bob tribute. And it is just that. It's the perfect thing. It just works out. And my trial was to get the paint matched, and I think I've done pretty well. I think it's pretty damn close. And there we go. Anyway, if you enjoyed, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, thank you for sticking with me. And all that remains to say is tatty pie, people. Tatty pie.